Thanks for clicking. Momentum is continuing to build in Canada's real estate market. This according to the most recent release from the Canadian Real Estate Association, the CREA.
Bit of good news. Sales are ticking back up, keeping that steady comeback on track.
Yeah, and when the CREA tells you that momentum is building, that things could get hot next year, they've got the data, they've done the research. Don't question.
The only housing demand problem Canada is likely to face going forward is too much. And with the amount of demand that we know is out there, given how much demand is out there, the record amount of demand waiting in the wings, a significant unleashing of pent-up demand this year.
Now we know the demand is there.
But it wasn't just the CREA telling us about this momentum building in the market.
Optimism about more activity in the new year. Let's get more from our own Lindsay Biscaya. Lindsay.
Yeah.
What, no Phil Soper?
We're having a really interesting conversation earlier with Phil Soper from LePage.
Yeah. But it's not just the media, it's not just the real estate boards that are pushing, as we'll see today, a distorted view of the market. It's also the everyday realtors. And I'd like to discuss that, if only to protect their prey, their clients.
How dare you!
So what I want to do today is go over Canada's national real estate data for the month of October while looking at the assessments coming from CREA economist Sean Cathcart and LePage CEO Phil Soper, discuss how this distorted view of the market is translating itself into realtor behavior, and then go over some implications. The Bank of Canada's next policy rate announcement is due out in a couple of weeks with a press conference to be held thereafter, and we'll obviously have an update out on that announcement on this channel. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, let's get into this real estate data. On to Canada's real estate data. First up, the benchmark price, the price of a home that represents the most popular set of features, which was up, though marginally, in October. September's benchmark was $687,600, coming in at $688,800 in October, down $22,000 from this point in time last year, back when Bloomberg's expert of choice told us that Toronto's real estate market was going to boom in 2025. As a side note, Toronto's benchmark price down $100,000 since this point in time last year. Regardless though, sales were up month over month, a point that was stressed by both the CREA and its brethren.
Sales are ticking back up, keeping that steady comeback on track.
There was something of a recovery in the housing market in October. National home sales climbed almost 1%.
Except that sales being up in October from September isn't really news. Sales should be up. September has the start of school, getting ready for the new year, etc., etc. We don't see a lot of home buying activity. And the way that we know this, if we look at Toronto's historical real estate data, we can see that sales, save COVID, are almost always up month over month from September by an average of about 7%. So a 1% month over month increase from September to October isn't all that newsworthy.
I will do whatever you ask.
Next, on the other side of the coin, new listings, which were down 1.4%. And for the implications on that point, on this drop in new listings, let's go back to the CREA's famed economist.
Supply's down. So it's when sales pick up like that, if you don't get a whole bunch of more people putting their homes on the market, they start to be bought off the market.
Except that, again, new listings are supposed to be down in October. Again, let's go back to Toronto, and we can see for the past 12 years, new listings are always down in October, which makes sense. It's October, the end of the year is coming. Do you really want to be showing your home in November, selling in December, even closing in December or January? So new listings being down isn't really all that newsworthy.
The number of new listings declined. Let's get more from Philip Soper.
With that kind of media support, you still can't sell a house? Speaking of which, did anyone see that CTV News report about the realtor that had to sell her home because business had dried up? She listed the home and still can't sell it? I mean, I feel bad for her, but I don't think that's the marketing piece you think it is.
I think I want my money back.
Regardless, sales are up, though they're supposed to be. New listings are down, though they're supposed to be. But what about the months of inventory measurement, the MOI, which measures if no more homes came to the market, how long would it take for Canada to completely run out of homes for sale? That came in at 4.4, well above the since 2020 average of 3.5. Or, as the CREA puts it,
if you look at the number of months of inventory, which is the combination of those two things, sales and active listings, we've been parked at about 4.4 months nationally for about 4 months now. So it's kind of just sitting there. The long-term average is 5 months. And so we're already well below that. This is already on the tighter side.
Well, one, the months of inventory went up in September. It's right there in your own data, economist. And two, the data that you provide says that the long-term average is 3.5 months. Either give us the data that you're referencing or we'll just assume you made it up.
In breaking news!
And then, of course, we have Phil Soper echoing the CREA's pent-up demand story, discussing the amount of demand that's just waiting to come back.
Yeah, I'd say lower borrowing costs and 3 years of pent-up demand. It's been a while since the pandemic boom, and people are having babies, getting new jobs, looking for new housing, but for many of them, they have delayed making those big decisions.
Which, of course, we've gone through Phil Soper's pent-up demand predictions for the past few years on this channel before, so we'll just do a quick few right now.
So there is a lot of pent-up demand. People don't want to wait too long.
No.
We've got a lot of pent-up demand and a lot of humans.
So we've got the benchmark price up marginally since last month, down about 20,000 since last year. Sales are up, new listings are down. Neither is really news. They're both supposed to be for the month of October. We don't have any real hard indicators of a major shift in the market. With that said, this distorted market view on behalf of the real estate associations, on behalf of the media, is definitely present on the part of the everyday realtor. For those first-time homebuyers, those under 30s, those who, from what I can tell, appear to be the biggest target of misinformation from those who can't make their lease payments, you have a lot of buying power.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yes, you do. The number of times that I've gotten the distinct impression from the realtor, multiple different realtors, that they're working not for the homebuyer, but for the seller, has been astounding. Won't submit offers, won't extend conditions, doesn't want to insult the seller. More often than not, it's been me having to explain to the sellers the lay of the land, the buying power they hold in their hands, and that they can ask for concessions. And guess what? It always works.
You sure about that? You sure?
Realtors, I do make fun of you on this channel because it's a shame that this thing even exists. You should know how to do your job if you're going to be getting paid for it. But there's no shame in asking for help. Take one of the multiple negotiation courses available to you and do the job you're getting paid to do. Or ask a car salesman for some tips. You certainly learned a lot from their ethics. But to the first-time home buyers, especially those under 30s, because the realtors don't pull this as much for non-first-time home buyers. If your realtor tells you that this home is going to move fast, but you can tell it's been sitting for a while, get a new realtor. They've shown you who they are, believe them. It's easy to tell how long a home's been sitting. Go on Realtor.ca. We'll filter to go lowest price first. You don't have to, but we don't need to look at the highest price listings. It's going to skew things. Pick a property. Look at time on Realtor.ca. And there we have 19 days. This one's been sitting for almost 3 weeks. The likelihood that there's all of a sudden a major buyer majorly interested in this property at the exact same day you've decided to submit an offer, with this much inventory sitting on the market?
How dare you!
If the realtor tells you you can't ask for a concession from the seller, be it an extension on finance, be it a house inspection, a finance condition, get a new realtor. There's so much inventory on the market. Prices aren't going up anytime soon. Depending on the market, some areas are different. You are the one taking the risk. The house you buy now, chances are, it won't be worth what you paid for by the time you close. That means you have the buying power, you have the negotiation power, you have the power over the seller, and you definitely have the power over your realtor. They work for you, despite what they might tell you. Their commission is built into that selling price. You are paying for their services. So we have Canada's real estate data for the month of October. Nothing really spectacular, nothing to indicate a big market shift. The media, the real estate boards seem to be acting like something big is happening, like a shift is underway, which of course there's no data to support that. Make sure you continue to check the data and of course watch this channel where we try to separate what's being said versus what's actually on the ground. Or what Sean Cathcart would call a fancy distinction.
So I think there will be a sort of a, to use a fancy word, bifurcation of trends.
Anyway, we will obviously continue to track Canada's real estate market on this channel. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates. But for now, thanks so much for watching.